You walk in, ask for a table for one, and something in the host's eyes shifts. Just slightly. A micro-expression you've learned to read without trying. Maybe it's pity. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe it's nothing at all. But you noticed it, because you notice everything. You sit down. You order without rush. And somewhere between the first sip of your drink and the moment your food arrives, something in your chest loosens. Not happiness exactly. More like a quiet returning to yourself. Like you've been holding a posture all day and you finally let it drop. Most people would never understand why this moment feels like relief. There's a story the world tells about people who eat alone. It's a story about loneliness, about not having anyone to call, about something being slightly off. Friends joke about it. Movies use it as shorthand for characters who are sad, disconnected, or stuck. The person eating alone at a restaurant is almost always framed as someone waiting for their real life to begin. And if you've ever loved eating alone, you've probably felt the weight of that story pressing against you. You may have even questioned yourself, wondered if something was wrong, wondered if the fact that you preferred this meant you were avoiding life instead of living it. But that quiet voice in you, the one that keeps choosing the corner table, keeps savoring the solitude, that voice knows something different. What you're actually doing when you eat alone in a restaurant is far more psychologically complex than people give it credit for. It's not about the food. It's not even really about being alone. It's about entering a space that is social by design and choosing, deliberately, to exist in it on your own terms. It's about proximity without obligation, presence without performance. And for a certain kind of nervous system, that combination is one of the most regulating experiences available. Research in environmental psychology has shown that humans don't simply crave connection or solitude in binary terms. What we actually seek is control over the level of social input we receive. A study from the University of British Columbia found that people who feel autonomous in their choice to be alone experience it completely differently from those who feel forced into it. The aloneness itself isn't what matters. What matters is whether you chose it. When you sit in a restaurant alone, you're surrounded by life. Conversations drift past you. Glasses clink. A couple argues softly 2 tables over. A child laughs near the window. You're bathed in social texture without being required to participate in any of it. Your brain registers safety. There are people here. You're not isolated. While simultaneously registering freedom. No one needs anything from you. No one is scanning your face for a reaction. No one is waiting for you to say the right thing. For people who grew up in environments where meals were loaded, where dinner meant navigating tension, performing okayness, managing a parent's mood, or simply being watched too closely, eating alone as an adult can carry a significance that goes beyond preference. It becomes a kind of reclamation. The table is yours. The silence is yours. The pace is yours. No one is going to suddenly shift the atmosphere. No one is going to need you to be smaller or louder or different than you are. Your nervous system learned, probably very early, to stay alert during shared meals, to track the emotional temperature of the room, to eat while simultaneously monitoring. And so now, when you remove all of that, when you sit with your own plate in a space where no one is performing for you, and you're not performing for anyone, your body does something it rarely gets to do. It rests while eating. That's not trivial. That's a form of healing most people would never think to name. And here's where it gets important to say this clearly. None of this makes solitary dining superior. People who love eating with others, who feel energized by long dinners and shared plates and overlapping voices, aren't doing it wrong. Their systems are wired for co-regulation through connection. Yours may be wired for regulation through autonomy. Neither is a deficiency. They're just different paths to the same destination, which is feeling safe enough to be present. But there's a layer underneath this that rarely gets spoken about, and it's worth sitting with. The paradox of loving to eat alone in public is that it reveals something unexpected about you. You're not antisocial. You're deeply social. You chose a restaurant, not your couch. You wanted the hum of humanity around you. You wanted to be in the world, just not caught in its web. that tension between wanting to be near people and needing to not be consumed by them, is one of the most misunderstood emotional experiences a person can have. People see the alone and assume withdrawal. They miss the restaurant part entirely. They miss that you showed up, that you chose to be here, that you wanted life around you. You just wanted to witness it on a frequency that didn't cost you everything. There's a concept in psychology called optimal distance. The idea that every person has a specific range of closeness that allows them to feel both connected and intact. For some people, that range is narrow, shoulder to shoulder, eye to eye, sharing everything. For others, it's wider, a few feet of space, a table of their own, a window to look through when the feeling gets too thick. You're not keeping the world out. You're letting it in at a pace your body can actually absorb. And that meal you eat in that quiet corner, the one where no one is watching and nothing is expected, and the only thing on your mind is whether the sauce is as good as it smells. That meal might be one of the most honest conversations you have with yourself all week. Because you're not filling the silence with someone else's needs. You're not adjusting. You're not translating yourself into a version someone else can digest. You're just there, eating, tasting, breathing. That's not loneliness. That's a person who has learned, maybe the hard way, what it actually takes for them to feel real. And you don't owe anyone an explanation for it. Not the host, not your friends, not the voice in your head that sometimes still whispers that you should want company. You do want company, just not always at the table. If something in this felt familiar, if you recognized yourself not just in the behavior but in the reason behind it, there are other parts of the way you move through the world that carry the same quiet logic, the same hidden architecture. And if you're willing, we'll keep going. If this felt like you, like, subscribe, and stay close. There's more quiet truth on the way.